Welcome back to the Honest Art Podcast. I'm your host, Jodie King, and we're talking today about something that I have never met a single artist who wants to do this. We're talking about writing artist statements and bios that are going to actually be effective. And when I say I've never met an artist that actually wants to do this, like I get eye rolls anytime I say, does somebody have an artist statement? Has somebody written an artist statement? Does anybody need help writing an artist statement? Eye rolls all the way around. But by the end of this podcast, I can promise you I'm going to help you write an artist statement that not only is going to be easy to do, but is going to set you apart as an artist. So if you're ready, let's get messy. Okay, first of all, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to give you a lot of information, okay? So there's a couple things you can do. Number one, download it, right? But if you're driving, know that in the Honest Art Society, which is our group that's got so many amazing artists in it, in the Honest Art Society, I put this information in there as well. So if you're part of that, you can have access to this information, but I also wanted to give it to everyone. And I don't know, sometimes it's just more fun to talk to you like this. So first of all right, let's talk about artist statement. I want to just suggest that you not do what I did. All right. So the first thing that I did is I waited until I was asked to write an artist statement to write it. Don't do that. You want to do this ahead of time, because if you wait to write your artist statement when you need it, it's never going to be your best artist statement. And you likely won't have time for somebody to take a look at it, edit it, because you really do want somebody to take a look at it and edit it, because sometimes we're just too close to everything to be able to write a good one. And as I go through this podcast, you'll see why. And the second thing you don't want to do that I did, that is because I waited to the last minute till it was needed. I didn't know how to write it. So I went to other artists' artist statements and I looked to see what they were writing, and I incorporated some of that into mine because, right, they're great artists and that's their artist statement. So why not use some of that language? Don't do that, because the whole idea of an artist statement or a bio is to help us stand out. It's to show people who have no idea who we are. It's a way of like introducing ourselves in a unique way. So they're like, holy crap, I want this person's art because they are so cool, or they're so interesting, or they can relate to our story. So don't look at somebody else's. We want to create our own. And I'm going to give you all of the tools to do that. So you might be asking yourself, where do you need an artist statement? What does it, where would you need to submit an artist statement to? Well, the first thing is you, of course, can put an artist statement on your website, but you don't have to have a website for an artist statement. In fact, so many times, if you're applying to something, exhibition or art fair or something like that, they're not asking you for your website, but they are asking you for your artist statement. So you'll need your artist statement for art shows. You will need them for sure if you are applying to galleries. You'll need one if you want to work with art consultants. It's just a great way to attach your artist statement to the email. You'll want an artist statement if you're applying to exhibitions, but you'll also want your artist statement for any press or media. And you might be thinking, I'm not there yet. I'm not to the point where I'm getting press. Well, you can actually put yourself out there to local magazines or local periodicals, any sort of media, and submit your artist statement. Again, because you've done a good artist statement and you've curated and it's looking good. You can also use your artist statement, or you'll be requested to submit artist statements for any sort of artist residencies that are out there. Like, for instance, I just found this incredible, well, it sounds incredible, this amazing artist residency in, I think it was Mallorca. And I looked at it, it looked unbelievable. But of course, they are asking for an artist statement. So just be prepared. Don't do it at the last minute. Do it before you need it. Okay. So at the beginning, I said there are artist statements and there are bios. Okay. Now I'm going to start first with talking about my bio, and I'm going to tell you the difference between the two. But I will say, I'm going to talk about the bio because it's much easier, it's more concise, and you'll see why in a second. But I will say that doing the work to figure out your artist statement is also going to help you when you go to write your bio. All right, so what's the difference between an artist statement and a bio? All right, so an artist statement is going to be no more than 2 paragraphs. We're talking like 150 to 300 words for your artist statement, okay? No more than 2 paragraphs. And I know that can be really hard to do, right? But the thing is that people are not going to read past that. We have a very limited capacity now. We want to get the information, we want to get in, we want to get out. And I think my first artist statement was like, oh my gosh, it was so long. And nobody read it, right? So why create an artist statement that nobody is going to read? Now, on the other hand, a bio is much shorter. A bio is like 3 to 5 sentences, and I'm gonna read you my bio. I'm gonna read you my artist statement. A bio is 3 to 5 sentences, and your bio is written in third person. So the way I like to think of it is, let's say you were being introduced to a new audience. So it's like if somebody were calling you up on the stage and they were talking about you, if a podcaster was introducing you to their audience, if a blogger was introducing you to their audience, or like for me, sometimes if I'm going to do any sort of TV or any sort of press, they want my bio because it's in third person and they can speak about me and introduce me in that way. So let me give you an example. So my bio is, and I have to read it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm looking down. That's right. All right. So it's Jodie King is an artist, instructor, and speaker whose mission is to help others excavate their authentic power, freedom, and joy through the use of art and creativity. She possesses a combination of playful irreverence and spirituality with over 20 years of art experience that resonates with her audience from around the world. Jodie's "no one is the boss of you" attitude about painting, life, and creativity encourages the novice as well as the experienced to create, in her words, honest art. So that's it. That's the bio. And that was 3 sentences. All right. Now they were kind of long sentences, but they hit the high points. They talk about the bio talks about who I am, who I serve, what I do, and kind of my experience and credentials, right? So 20 years of art experience, audience around the world. That tells a little bit more about my reach. It tells a little bit of like my voice, the "no one is the boss of you." There's a lot of ways you can say these things, right? But so long as you let people know who you are, what you do, what you serve, who you serve, and what experience level you bring to this, you are going to nail it. Okay, guys, real quick, while I've got to tell you about something really, really exciting, and that is the Honest Art Society. The Honest Art Society is my membership group where I'm able to finally offer artists all of the things that you've been asking for. So you get monthly training, you get coaching calls, you get monthly art critiques, there are guest speakers, there is studio hour where we'll paint together, and also you get exclusive discounts and offers, and you get to hear about things that happen first. All for only $47 a month. So I hope you will join me in this group with amazing artists as well. So go to the link in the show notes to find out more about the Honest Art Society. Okay, so that's that's your bio. And like I said, sometimes your bio is easy to write after you go through the process of creating your artist statement. All right. But just know your bio is written in third person. Your artist statement is written in first person. And what the artist statement needs to do is it needs to explain the why and the how for you when it comes to making art. So if you haven't done that inner work to really consider why it is that you create and why, like, what is your inspiration? What is calling you to paint? What is it about painting that lights your face on fire? That's the question to ask yourself prior to sitting down to write your artist statement. And when you think of it in that way, it takes away some of that kind of artist speak that is in so many people's artist statement. And that's kind of like the next thing that I'm going to say is that first you want to explain why you do what you do and briefly how you do what you do, meaning like some of your process, but you want to do it in your own voice. I cannot express this enough. And if you're not sure if it's in your own voice, you can actually speak it into the microphone on your phone. If it's not in your own voice, then you're probably using a little bit of artist speak. And what I mean by artist speak is, tell me if you think this sounds familiar. It's like, I create art and I'm inspired by nature and all of its influences and the way that spirituality comes through my work, and I can connect to the divine through my art, and I paint in layers, and those layers are blah, blah, blah. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, what? But tell me why. Tell me in your own words what you're doing. Because the other thing about like the artist speak is that it sounds like everybody else. And the people that are like collecting your art, sometimes they're artists for sure, but they're just regular folks. And so if we are speaking artist speak to regular folks, then we're not going to be able to connect with them through our artist statement. It's just going to seem like, huh? Like, I've been reading some books. You have to read the book over and over and over again, or the passage over and over again, because you can't quite figure out what they're trying to say. And I find the best artist statements are you just get in there and you just freaking say it. You say what you need to say. Now, the other thing about the why is that's really going to help you to create an emotional connection to the collector or to that gallerist if you're applying to a gallery. And also keep in mind, remember I was talking about bloggers use this, art residencies use this, like all of these, designers, art fairs, exhibitions. Well, do you know who's reading those artist statements? They're just real ass people. They're just real. And when you get a bunch of artist statements that come through that sound like everyone else's, then nothing's going to set you apart. So I'm telling you, the more you can put this in your own words and you leave out a lot of the fluff, the more that this artist statement is going to be effective in supporting you in your goals. And as an example of that, my why is, and if you've been around me for a long time, you're probably like, Jodie, we've heard your why a million times, but I'm just going to repeat it again. So my why is all about freedom, empowerment, and play. I know that because that's what it gives me. So as you're asking yourself, what is my why? Ask yourself, what does this painting do for me? So with that in mind, freedom, empowerment, and play, here is my artist statement. Okay. My art is a celebration of empowerment, freedom, and the transformative power of play. Using bold strokes, vibrant colors, and spontaneous mark making, I explore the messy beauty of being human, the joy, vulnerability, and courage it takes to embrace imperfection. My creative process is rooted in curiosity and experimentation, allowing the materials to guide me in creating pieces that feel alive and honest. Each work is a reflection of the freedom that comes from letting go of expectations, silencing the inner critic, and trusting the magic of an uncertainty. As an artist and mentor, creativity is a profound act of liberation. Through my teaching and my art, I empower others to reconnect with their inner wildness, embrace play, and unlock their creative potential on and off the canvas. Art, for me, is more than the finished product. It's a practice that allows us to excavate our truest selves, reminding us of who we are beyond societal roles and limitations. My work invites viewers to step into their own sense of wonder and reclaim the rebellion, joy, freedom, and power that creativity offers us all. That is my artist statement. Now, after hearing that, let's go back to how our why affects our artist statement. Hopefully, within hearing my artist statement, you heard or you understood through examples that my why is all about freedom, empowerment, and play. But nowhere in it did I say, my why is, right? You don't want to do that. You just want to incorporate it into the artist statement. All right. So now it's like, great, Jodie, but how? How am I supposed to do this? Because writing an artist statement is so hard because we're too close to it. It's like we're in the, like a glass jar. We're in the jar. We need some people from outside the jar to look in to be able to reflect back to us, like something about our work and something about who we are. What do they see that we're not seeing? So this is the first step in writing your artist statement. And again, once you have the artist statement, it's going to make writing that bio so much easier. So the first thing is we've got to do a little investigative work, okay? We have to get that outsider's perspective because remember, we want to stand out and we don't necessarily know how other people perceive us or how they perceive our art. So here's, in your investigative work, here's the big scary work that I challenge you to do. And if you are an introvert, you're going to be like, hell no, I am not doing that. But I'm telling you, if you'll do it, it'll make your job so much easier in writing your artist statement. So here's what I'm challenging you to do. I want you to call. Yes, I said call. I didn't say text. I didn't say email. I want you to call 5 to 7 people who have either purchased your art or are just very, very familiar with your art, who have seen your art, like somebody who knows you and knows your art. And the reason I want you to call them is because we want an immediate response. Because when somebody sees your art, they're not going to have time to sit and think back and all of that. They're going to see it and they're going to have an immediate response. So we want to know what other people's immediate responses are, okay? And then I want you to ask them these 3 questions. The first one is, what one word would you use to describe me? Second question, why would you choose to purchase my art? Or why did you choose to purchase my art? And the third question is, what one word would you describe how my art makes you feel? Okay? And again, we are wanting immediate responses. And one way that I've done this is I've called people. I'd be like, "Hey, Amy, listen," and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, Jodie, what do you have going on?" And you're like, "You know what? I want to catch up with you, but I've got this assignment and I was just wondering if I could have like 2 minutes of your time and then I'll call back and we can catch up later. But do you have time for a couple of questions?" And they'll say, "Yeah, sure." Like, okay, so I'm writing my artist statement and I'm needing help. Could you answer these 3 questions and ask, one word would you use to describe me? and they might take a few seconds, but they're going to give you a word. Why would you choose to purchase my art? They're going to give you an immediate response. And then what one word would you use to describe how my art makes you feel? Now, what we're trying to do here, we want to record all of this, not record it, but, write it down. Write those one words down. What's the one word to describe you? What's the one word to describe your art? And how does my art make you feel? Write all of that down, because we are looking for reoccurring words and themes. So this is why it's so important to ask 5 to 7 people, because if you ask 2 people, you may not get something the same. But if you ask 5 to 7 people, it's very, very likely that you are going to get similar words. Now, once you get those similar words, you're going to circle them, right? And that is going to give you a huge insight onto how your art is perceived. And can I just tell you, I think everybody that I've given this assignment to, they were so reluctant to do it. But I'll tell you, 100% of the people were so happy with the responses, because when somebody tells you how your art makes them feel, it just warms our heart. So when we get those answers or those results back, it just feels really, really good. And a lot of times it's like, dang, I didn't even know that my work was connecting to people like that. So that's the first step. The second step is to consider how your art affects yourself from a overall worldview. How does it affect yourself? How does it affect your community? How does it affect others? Write all of this down. The key, I'm going to tell you why you want to write all this down, and you're going to be mind blown. You're going to I cannot believe this made my job so much easier for writing your artist statement. I want you to write down, how and when did you start creating your art? And when I say how, I mean was there something that initially inspired you to start creating art? For me, I just woke up one day and I thought, oh my gosh, I think I want to start painting. And I know that was linked to the stage in life that I was in, and I was really needing something for myself. I do know that. But so the how and the when, for me, it was when I was 35 years old. But the how was it was just something I woke up and thought, I have got to do this. And then, of course, I went to the art supply store and got some things. Nobody really cares that I went to the art supply store. That's kind of a given. It's nobody cares. If you went to the grocery store, they assume you did if you're cooking, right? But just if you can think about how and when you started painting or creating and write that down, that's another step. And then the next step is there some sort of anecdote about when you were painting, or when you sold a painting, or maybe how a painting or a piece of art connected to someone else? And the reason is remember I was talking about standing out, right? Well, one way to stand out is to show, don't tell. That's an old writing thing. So if we can have an anecdote or a story about how, or even if it's a sentence, so something brief, right? But how our art has connected to others, that tells more than anything could be. It's because we're showing, we're not telling. Okay, now, when you've got all that written down, when you've got down what words that keep coming up, what are some common themes, how people are perceiving your art, when you started, how you started, all of that. When you write all of that down, this is when the fun starts, okay? And don't forget that anecdote. You are going to go to ChatGPT or some AI platform, okay? I use ChatGPT, and you're going to plug in. You're going to say, write me an artist statement that includes, and you are going to include all of those things that you've just learned, and include this short anecdote about, whatever that might be. And then you're going to say, Be sure this is no more than 2 paragraphs and no more than 300 words. And then you are going to get an artist statement spit out that is uniquely for you. Now, you may have to go back in and you may have to tweak it a little bit, right? Because, it is AI. But that is going to be your cheat. It's going to be your little hack for getting an artist statement that is uniquely yours and really is concise. Now, once you have that, you can also ask it to create your bio for you and say no more than 5 sentences. And there you have it. How about that? Artist statement and bios done for you. So don't sleep on this. Again, don't wait until you need your artist statement or your bio to write it, because you'll want to do some tweaking, like I said, but don't shy away from this. You've got this. Your artist statement and your bio are so important to your career, and don't put it off. All right. You've got this. You can do it. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. And again, if you want more support on your artist statement and bio, again, join me in the Honest Art Society. We do so much more than just that, but you can get a lot of support for yourself as an artist by joining us in the Honest Art Society. All right, you guys, you can do that, by the way, by going to the link in the bio. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, could I ask you to like and subscribe to the channel, pretty please? And if you're listening on your favorite platform, I would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and review. All right. Until next time, everybody, take good care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.